Hey, good evening, friends. It has been a while since I've gone live, but this is episode 122. My name is Shane. If you're new, if you've been with me in the past, welcome back. It has been a while since I've been live. I hope you will enjoy tonight's live stream. I want to talk tonight about how you can invest in crypto tax-free, and that's not tax deferred. I'm kind of joking, but you can certainly invest in your crypto tax deferred if you prefer. But I think most people, given a choice, would like to, see your crypto gains grow tax free. Now, that's basically the difference between a traditional IRA and a Roth IRA. I guess they both have their own unique pluses and minuses. I think the Roth, generally speaking, has all the pros of the traditional IRA, but actually I myself, because I'm basically converting a retirement plan, left a company several years ago actually, and that was put into an annuity that I've not taken a lump sum or any kind of distribution from, and I'm ready now to invest that. And I've found a company called iTrustCapital. You can see their logo in the lower right, and if you use my link, you'll get a month free if you want to check them out. Very simple process. I'm actually in the final stages of converting or rolling over my retirement plan into a traditional IRA. I'm only going into a traditional IRA because I don't want to take the big tax hit up front in the first year with my income. It makes more sense to gradually move that money, some of that money over year to not have such a high tax bill up front. But if you're just getting started or you have a smaller amount, definitely if mine was about a half or a third of what it is, I would just take the hit right away, put it into a Roth, be done with it, and watch it grow like crazy, especially in Bitcoin, Ethereum, over the next several months. So as we always do as well, we're going to definitely interact with you guys in the comments. So please let us know where you're watching from. If you're watching live, let us know. If you're watching the replay, let us know in the comments or chat if you're live. But I want to talk about kind of my journey. This will be more of a just a commentary, interacting with y'all versus me showing you a lot of screens and talking about the broader market like I do a lot of times. Those types of things, we'll save that for another night. But I do want to talk about my journey. So I worked for a company about 10 years ago, had a profit sharing plan. They basically gave that to an administrator, if you will, and I'm now finally ready to decide what I'm going to do with it. So as I mentioned, did some research. There are other, basically companies where you can have a crypto IRA or Roth. And by the way, with iTrustCapital, if you're interested in it, you can also have a portion or all of a Roth or a traditional IRA or even a 401k for that matter, in precious metals, gold, silver. That's not, I'm not going to talk about that tonight, but nonetheless, it's there. So they've got a lot of good things. If you believe, or if you're coming around to believe that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are a good place to have your money where it can grow, and Bitcoin especially, if you believe that it is a good store of value and a excellent hedge against inflation, which I believe, then this is the perfect time. There is probably no better time than now. Bitcoin especially is in the mid to low 30s, depending on what day you're looking at it. Over the weekend, I did a swing trade. It went right down to 30,000, recovered, over about a 48-hour period to the mid or 34 and change. So had some goals to basically get a laptop. So I'm doing a little bit of swing trading with Bitcoin, but the main goal is to own Bitcoin, hold Bitcoin, never sell Bitcoin for the most part. So it's going to be at least a long, long time. You may or may not know with a Roth IRA, you can't, and I think that's true for a regular IRA, you can't actually pull any money out except for your contribution. With regards to a Roth IRA, prior to 59.5, if you take a distribution prior to that, you've got a 10% penalty plus, I believe, you have to pay your regular tax on the gains, not on the contribution. Contribution is still tax-free because you've already paid taxes on that. So keep that in mind. I want to talk about a few things before I get into talking about iTrustCapital, specifically some strategies that have come to mind. Keep in the back of your mind that this is not investment advice. I'm not a certified financial planner, licensed, or anything like that. Just a person that's done a lot of research, putting into action everything I'm saying tonight. But you should consider this opinion, my own thoughts. You need to do your own research. Talk with a financial advisor, an accountant, all those types of things to make sure that these strategies make sense for you. But this is something to think about. So, it came to my mind that you could use basically, especially a Roth IRA, to help fund your kids' education, college, let's say, or trade school, after high school, technical school, any number of school opportunities or secondary education that is considered, qualified. You can actually pull out money out of your Roth to pay for that without any penalties. Never had thought of a Roth IRA as a vehicle for paying or helping to pay for your kids' education, but I think that in combination potentially with a 529 makes an excellent two-tiered approach, both having tax benefits. The 529 absolutely has to be used for education, or if you take it out, you're going to have to pay a penalty if you don't use it for that. 529 plan can be transferred from one dependent, if you will, to another. So that's certainly good and flexible. But, and the Roth only allows you to contribute if you're under, I believe it's 55 or 50, maybe it's 50 or 55, only $6,500 a year. If you're over that age, whether it's 50 or 55, I can't remember. I think it might be 55. Then you can contribute $7,000 a year. So if you start early enough, those contributions can be pulled out literally at any time, technically for any reason, and you don't have to pay any type of a penalty or tax on the contribution because, again, the contributions that you're making, you did not take a tax deduction for those like you can a traditional IRA, and you've already paid the tax on that money. But again, here is the powerful part about the Roth IRA combined with crypto. Your 1x, 2x, 10x, whatever it happens to be. Bitcoin, probably going to 500,000 and beyond within 5+ years. Who knows exactly when? Maybe, but this is we're in June of 2021. It's the 28th of June, 2021. Many people smarter than me, with more time than me, more resources than me, believe that Bitcoin before the end of this year is going to be 100K, 120K. Some people believe 160. Some believe even in the 200,000 range. Now, Bitcoin, like all cryptocurrencies, goes through cycles, ups and downs. You need to be in it for the long haul. You need to have some understanding of how cryptocurrencies are impacted by news, by FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, all the things and see it as something that's long-term, something that on any given day, any given week, any given month may be down. But in the aggregate, certainly Bitcoin, certainly Ethereum, I would say those two especially, won't really talk so much about the others, although there are many other good cryptocurrencies out there from an investment perspective. We'll pull up iTrustCapital here in a minute and show you all the ones that are available to you. It's a good list for those that want some variety and some diversification. They're adding more very quite often as well. There are some fees. I'm not going to get into all the particulars, but if you go to strammel.info/iTrustCapital, or you could just strammel.info/ITC if you want to remember something very, very short, and you can go on there and get all the details. It's a really easy process. You fill out an application, which is about 3 pages long online, 3 different pages, 3 different web pages, if you will. General information about your name, address, all that type of stuff, the information about what kind of investment you're rolling over, whether you want that to go into a Roth or a traditional IRA, how much is coming over, some of those types of things. Then you get a DocuSign. You sign that. It's 2 pages. That's about it. And then they send you an email with the information, what you need to tell your current administrator of your retirement plan, 401k, whatever it is that you're transferring over. You put that information in. You get that to your plan administrator. You sit back and wait. Maybe if the check is mailed, it's probably a 2.5 week process. I'm not there yet. I'll come back and report on once it's actually finished. I'll have that sent off this week. You do if you're married and if you're not, if you're married and you're taking a lump sum or basically transferring the whole thing, you'll need to get, most likely from your administrator, they'll require you to get a notarized signature where your spouse, your wife, or where your husband, depending on the situation, signs it and basically says, I acknowledge that we're doing this as a lump sum and not paying out to both spouses. So I don't know if that's why this is just opinion, not advice. I don't know if that's specific to the state. I don't remember. I filled that part out. I just need to have it notarized. Fax that or email a PDF to my administrator of my plan, and then the rest is just going to happen. So, but sorry, I just got a message, but I think it's great. So I think what we'll do now is I'm going to go to iTrustCapital and show that to you, and let's talk a little bit about it. All right, so let's go to camera 2 here. Hope you're enjoying the background music. I think it's about right as far as the setting. But as you can see, you can self-trade cryptocurrency and physical gold in your IRA, 401k. There are some others out there, but this iTrustCapital, I believe, has over $1 billion in under management, which is pretty crazy. Let's scrolling down here, and so again, you trade tax-free if you're doing a Roth, tax-deferred. If it's a regular IRA, you do have a 1% trading fee, but that is very competitive with any of the exchanges that you would be using. Can trade 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365. So that's cool. And it's IRS compliant, obviously. The beauty of this is you can buy, sell literally every day and not have to worry about, okay, how am I going to collect all this information for my tax return this year? So let's look at all of the cryptocurrencies that are available. So you've got Bitcoin. I won't read off every one of these, but Ethereum, Cardano, Dogecoin, Polkadot, Litecoin, Uniswap, Chainlink, Sushi, Polygon, to name a few. Pretty cool. Precious metals, physical gold and silver, held at the Royal Canadian Mint. Do want to go back for a moment and talk about crypto and how it works, because they have a very solid custody setup. They're working with Coinbase on that, as well as Curve. So you can see here, institutional custody. That's a requirement, by the way. You can't self-custody a IRA, Roth IRA, 401k. So they have to be in custody. But, you know, when you get ready at 59 and a half or any point after that, or even prior to that, if you must take it, although there is a penalty, they can transfer that to your own wallet. So that the crypto has to be in their custody until you take distribution, and you can take the physical crypto, if you will. You don't have to cash it out, which I just verified that today. That pretty much solidified my decision on whether I would go with iTrustCapital or not. So you use my link, and you'll also get a let me move this over here. You'll also get, and I'm putting the link down there, you'll get the first month free. So there is, I'll show you, no need to hide anything. I'll be transparent just like they are. I already talked about the 1% trading fee. There's gold at $50 over spot for gold. I've honestly never been a person to buy gold. $250 over spot for silver. $29.95 a month for the actual account. Again, they're taking care of all of the particulars with regards to reporting and all of that. And you know, if you're buying and holding, or you know, able to pick the right altcoins during alt season, you're going to more than recover that $29.95 a month. I think it's absolutely worth it. It's cheaper than, or very comparable to, anything else I've seen. And when you look at all the other things that iTrustCapital brings to the table, I think they far and away, again, in my opinion, are the best out there for this. So your monthly fee account includes the setup of the IRA, of course, the facilitation of the rollover, all necessary reporting, unlimited storage with institutional custody partners, Curve and Coinbase, iTrustCapital platform support and maintenance. I'm only going to talk about this briefly, but I've talked to them. I'm an affiliate now with iTrustCapital, so I want to be clear about that. But obviously I'm telling you about a link, so it's clear that I have that. But I've talked with a number of the folks there at iTrustCapital, and they're going to be coming out with some really cool features. Can't commit for them, but I believe that you know, earning interest on your crypto is something that's coming. That's a big deal, because not only if you can, you know, buy and sell as you want, have it grow tax free, not tax deferred, and also earn interest as you're holding, that's just crazy. That's like Voyager, which, by the way, I highly recommend. Lower right corner, you can see strammel.info/Voyager. Best retail way of buying crypto, in my opinion. I've tried a lot. I use a lot. I use Swan Bitcoin to do dollar cost averaging. I have some money on BlockFi. I have some in Robinhood. I have some on Webull. I have some Bitcoin, believe it or not, on the Cash App, Venmo. I do them all, or many of them, if for no other reason than I talk about this a lot on YouTube. So it's something that I want to be able to know about. But if I was only going to pick one platform, retail platform, not IRA, but to buy every day, Voyager would be it by a long shot. I've got other videos where I've talked about that, so you can go check those out, and I will do newer videos. But Voyager's loyalty program is super exciting. Now is a great time to get in on that as well, because the loyalty coin VGX is at a very affordable point right now, where you can accumulate enough to get into the various tiers. Enough about Voyager, because this video is more about iTrustCapital. But the only reason I even got to talking about that is iTrustCapital, with some of the things that they're talking about doing, basically becomes something very similar to Voyager, but behind the wall of taxes, if you will, being able to do that all tax-free. So super excited about what they're coming up with. So you do have a 2,500 minimum to start. Minimum additional contributions 1,000. So you do have to plan for that as well. I'm actually just recognizing that. I'm probably glossed over that in the past, but again, 6,500 or 7,000 is your annual contribution in a Roth IRA, at least, depending on your age. So that's probably not that big an issue for most people. But again, especially with Bitcoin, both buying it just retail as well as, inside of a Roth IRA, now is the time. Bitcoin, may go back down into the 20s, 28, 24. Some are even saying as low as 15. But two opinions that I have with regards to that. Some of this is generic. Some of this has to do with the Roth. But since the minimum contribution is 1,000, you'll have to plan that out a little bit better. But definitely, go get a Voyager account if you don't have it set up to do basically dollar cost averaging, recurring contributions. My opinion is mostly Bitcoin, some Ethereum, and then at proper times, when it's altcoin season, when the altcoins are doing really well, some of those will go 10x. You have to be active in that, but buy the right altcoins. When you've got 10x on those, sell it and buy more Bitcoin and some Ethereum, and then rinse and repeat and hold. I would say it's, for the most part, that easy, but that's just me. So that's iTrustCapital. Go check them out. iTrustCapital. Use the code Shane, SHANE. You'll get your first month free. It's worth you at least checking it out. I would not want you to miss out on the opportunity to have a ton of flexibility with your 401k money, with your traditional IRA or your Roth IRA. Take full advantage of crypto as an asset. Bitcoin, I'll leave you with this. Bitcoin specifically, not talking about other crypto, but Bitcoin, the granddaddy of them all, if you will. I think the premier crypto out there, although there are many good projects, as the term is normally used a lot. But Bitcoin over the last decade has outperformed by 210%, or 200, at least 200%. It's 210% has outperformed on an annual basis over a decade, 210% better than the next best thing, which is the NASDAQ 100, annualized over a decade, returned 20%, and then it goes down from there. Gold, although many people don't invest in gold for its appreciation value, but give you some context, gold has returned 1.5% over a decade. So, maybe you want some gold for what gold does, right? Believed to be a hedge, but Bitcoin is every much, I believe, a hedge, and it's gold 2.0, digital gold, all the things that gold gives you, plus so many more. Appreciate significantly, all those types of things. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. Come back. We're going to be going live more often. We went live for 114 nights straight, and been taking some time off, trying to collect thoughts, trying to just live normal life. This is something I do as a secondary thing, if you will. So we all have other things that we do at times. So do want to acknowledge Aliska. Hey, how's it going? This is the platform I plan to use. Okay, great. I assume that you're talking about iTrustCapital. I hope you'll consider using my link. That would be great. Or maybe you're talking about Voyager. Either way, we always love it when people use our links. And yes, we do get some benefit out of that, but you as the listener, as the watcher, never pays more, and in most cases get some type of a benefit or bonus out of it. But if you have, before we shut her down, if you have other thoughts or other comments, if you're on, by all means, let us know here. So we'll have a short moment of Q&A. Aliska, she doesn't mind me saying, is a life coach with ULA. So one of the 7 F's of ULA is finance. And I think this falls right in line with finance. Now, some people are skeptical or afraid or not sure, not educated on crypto. I completely understand that. That's why this is opinion versus advice. You need to do what's right for you, but I am 100% sold and 100% right in the middle of a large portion of my portfolio going. I really do believe into Bitcoin. I believe that Bitcoin is a legacy investment, one where you can also catch up, if you will, if you've been too busy to save, or any number of reasons why people haven't necessarily saved. And I don't even like the term save, because savings in the traditional sense, it will actually rot. And what I mean by that is regardless of what you're told or what you read, 5% is what we were told was the May inflation rate, the CPI, Consumer Price Index. They like to try to say that it's 2 to 3. They finally said, hey, we'll at least tell them 5. And even with that, the Consumer Price Index has been adjusted over time to not include some of the things that it traditionally includes. And most people that really study macroeconomics that are not influenced by monetary policy, that are independent thinkers, would tell you that we're more like in a 15% to 20% inflation rate. And one other thing I'll say, this is where I'll leave it. I said I was going to leave it, but this is where I'll leave it, is that Bitcoin, especially, and Ethereum to a smaller extent, is experiencing incredible adoption. I sent out a tweet today. When I say incredible adoption, I mean amongst institutions and companies and even governments. El Salvador has passed a bill, and this September it will become legal tender. That's huge. Alongside the dollar, they actually use the US dollar in El Salvador. Paraguay is looking into what they might do. The third richest person in Mexico, a billionaire that owns a bank, he's on record as saying they're going to work to be able to have Bitcoin available for their customers to buy, and to also put it on their balance sheet. Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, companies like MicroStrategy, Tesla, PayPal, Strike, all these companies and more are investing millions and billions of dollars, again, very specifically in Bitcoin. There are those that are afraid that it might be banned, and most of those that have been doing this, again, longer than I have, right in the middle of all this, would tell you, and I tend to believe it, that ship has already sailed. It is too entrenched, too ingrained in the institutions. I actually just read today that the Republican National Committee basically is now accepting cryptocurrency payments or donations through a company called BitPay. BitPay, I think, facilitates companies and organizations into the thousands to be able to receive crypto as payment or as donation. So I guess my point is we are I believe in the golden era, if you will. Just remember that Bitcoin, although it's 30 something thousand, I'm going to look over here right now. Yeah, Bitcoin's at 34,000 right now. Remember, you can buy fractions of a Bitcoin. Again, if you do the dollar cost averaging thing, just put in $50 a week, $10 a week, whatever. I do recommend that you do it weekly so that you can capture the ups and downs and probably have a better average cost. However you do it, go ahead and do it the way you are most comfortable with. But you're going to wake up one day and you're just going to be amazed by not only what you put in there, but what it has grown to. That's my humble opinion. And that's what I'm doing. All right. Well, I think that's where we're going to leave it. I do appreciate everyone joining tonight, whether you've joined through Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, doesn't matter. We enjoy having you here. I typically stream exclusively on YouTube, but it's been a while since I streamed, so I wanted to go ahead and stream out on all of our different platforms. Come and subscribe, if you haven't, strammel.info/YouTube, or you can just go to YouTube and it's youtube.com/Shane Trammel. Subscribe, turn on notifications, like, share, all those kind of things. It helps us grow. We still are working towards 4,000 watch hours, 1,000 subscribers. So if you're getting some value out of, what I'm talking about, I would love and would much appreciate you sharing it with others and doing all the things that YouTube likes to promote this out there. So I hope this information, again, whether you're watching live or whether you're watching the replay, I hope you find it helpful, valuable, and we will come back another time. Good night.